This morning at 3:58 a.m., Fargo police officers were dispatched to the Radisson downtown at 201 5th Street North on a report of a man with a gun. Upon their arrival, an officer reported seeing a green laser being pointed in all sorts of different directions. The officers saw a male holding a gun with a laser outside in front of the entrance of the Radisson Hotel. The male fired one shot towards the officers and then turned and fired additional shots into the Radisson lobby through the glass window next to the front doors. The male then entered the front doors leading into the lobby. Officers advanced up on the threat, entered the lobby, and took the suspect down at gunpoint in the lobby and into custody. The male is identified as Henry Assail Aiken. That's A-I-K-E-N. He's 54 years of age, from Fargo. And once we had him in custody, he appeared to be confused and in crisis. He was transported to the hospital by officers to be cleared and then taken to the Cass County Jail. His pending charge is aggravated reckless endangerment. During the time while officers were arriving on scene and shots were being fired, we had an incident leading to the injury of an officer. This happened while setting up a perimeter, and officers were putting their plate vests on and readying their patrol rifles ready to fire. Sergeant Matt Yestabo was directing his officers on the scene while he was taking a position and readying his patrol rifle. As he was doing this, he unintentionally and accidentally discharged his patrol rifle, which caused serious injury to his hand. The injury is serious but not life-threatening. Sergeant Matt Yestabo was transported to Sanford Hospital via FM ambulance. Sergeant Yestabo's been with the police department since December of 2001. He served as one of our detectives for a number of years and then was promoted in 2016 to sergeant, and he's one of our patrol supervisors on the night shift. Our thoughts and prayers are with him and his wife as he goes through the medical procedures that are necessary to repair his hand. Right now, the officers and their supervisors and investigations are still downtown working the scene at the Radisson, and we're also taking care of our officer. I would imagine you have some questions. Yes, Don.
Hey, Chief, have you had any past experience with Mr. Aiken?
He does have a history with us. I'm sure that you folks are able to look some of that history up, but yes.
Do you know if, well, I know it's early in the investigation right now, but as far as, you know, if he had some quarrel with the police department, or if it was just a random situation?
We're not aware of a quarrel that he has with the police department. Like I said, when we did get him into custody, he appeared to be confused and in crisis, and that's about all I can say about his condition. Yes, ma'am.
Do we know who made the initial report? Was it an employee at the Radisson or someone else?
It was a caller that was at the Radisson, but I'm not sure who exactly that caller is right now. We do have that information, though.
What kind of damage was caused by the shots fired into the Radisson?
Okay, so the front door, there's a revolving door, and then there's a window next to the revolving door on the left side as you're on the outside looking in, and that window has been shot through and is shattered.
The projectile didn't strike anything inside the
Well,
stairwell?
it hits the front of the stairs, I believe, the base of the stairs. And then we have been accounting for any other shots that he fired, as well as the accidental discharge of the officer's rifle. We've accounted for that round also.
With regard to the initial call, and we've been around long enough to know the initial calls usually, or not usually, but many times are not accurate, but I was working at the time and I did hear dispatch saying it was kind of uncertain, but they said something about a potential suicide suicide or a suicidal effort or something. And they had mentioned something about the police station, and we certainly noticed that the former police station was built off, you know, you had your tape up and that. Is that part of this?
It very well may be done. Like I said, the person appeared to be in crisis. Their vehicle is crashed into the front of the Gate City Bank building on 2nd Avenue. So it appeared that that crash happened first, and then they came over to the front of the Radisson Hotel. Yes, Bailey?
Is there significance with the green laser? Was that a distraction tactic?
Well, it appears that the laser is attached to the gun, and that's where that was coming from.
Did you say what the caliber is at this time?
I just will say that it's a revolver. I'm not sure what caliber it is.
When he was arrested at gunpoint, was he cooperative with officers?
From what I understand, he did not offer resistance at the time, but because of the crisis that he was in, once he was in the squad car, he started thrashing around quite a bit, causing some injury to himself. So officers had to go back into the squad car and further secure him so he couldn't injure himself any further than he had.
Are you aware of any precipitating incident that might have been involved with the mistake or anybody else?
I'm not aware of anything precipitating at this time. Yes?
Do you know if the hotel was locked down at any point for like the people staying there?
Well, that's a good question, and I don't know that they have the ability to lock it down other than individual rooms that people stay in. I think that was certainly probably one of the things forefront in the officer's mind as we train for active shooters. They're potentially here entering into a building that could have numerous people in that building, and that's why the officers needed to advance up on that threat as quickly as they could. Bailey?
Are there any repercussions or guests will be facing for the accidental fire or?
Well, you know, our first response to that is taking care of Sergeant Yestabo and his wife and making sure they're okay. But as in every discharge of a firearm in the city limits, we do an internal review, through an internal investigation actually through our department, Internal Affairs Office, where we examine the actions taken at the scene, the policies, our training, and just see what we can learn from the incident, and then we decide things from there. Yes?
From the summary, it sounds like there was a period of time officers arrived and were setting up the perimeter, and then they noticed the green laser light. Was the subject in view at all times, or police trying to figure out what the call was about, and then it started to unfold?
You know, from the way it was explained to me and reading some of the dispatch logs, it sounds like they saw the green laser light as they arrived on scene. Any other questions?
Do you know if there was a night court, I did talk to one gentleman who was a guest there. It was on 13th floor. He didn't realize what was happening until there was an alarm sounding and the elevator was locked. But do you know if the person inside or if there were more employees, if they were threatened or anything, or what may have happened to them when this guy started shooting at the hotel lobby?
There were a couple of people inside. The information we have is they locked themselves into an office somewhere back behind the front desk, is what we believe. At some point, somebody, possibly the suspect, pulled the fire alarms, the fire alarm lever down in the lobby, so that's why that alarm was going off. Okay, thank you everybody for coming. I hope I was able to answer your questions. And if there's any follow-up information, we'll let you know. Thank you.